Oh, this is gonna be good.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today. And when you get out of here, you have a drink for me, yeah?
You just stay on out 6 and get inside. We'll make sure you get the package. Oh, this is gonna...
Welcome to Real Geek Media. We are back. We are live. It is Thursday, August 22nd, 2004. I am Hayden Stoll. He is Christopher Michael Blake. We are in our new studios. How's everybody doing tonight? Christopher, what's the word?
I was waiting to see if I got replaced by AI as well. I wasn't sure. They brought back all these has-beens for Deadpool, and I was kind of like, are they going to bring back the Christopher Michael Blake who had hair? I wasn't sure.
I mean, listen, any variant is on the table at this point, right? You may run into them in the what realm did they call it? I forget what they've even called that realm that they're all in.
The transgender realm? I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Same bad jokes.
So
don't get trigger happy with that now. It's very addicting.
Man, this is the intro. People are happy to see us.
I'm sorry. Look, we get one clap. It's like, you don't get that much.
Christopher, what's new?
We're talking about what, Deadpool, Wolverine tonight?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
So I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the previous two Deadpool movies, especially Deadpool 2. I really thought was some shit. Not very funny, not very action, but at least the first one I thought was at least somewhat funny. However, the recent string of Marvel Star Wars failures, this movie came out looking very, very good. It did its job.
Yeah, it did. I've been so just drained by recent Marvel that it's just everything that comes out. I'm just like, oh my God, this is not for me. It's just not for me. And I went into this thing. You and I had spoken about this. We knew this was going to be the big movie, right? We knew this was going to cross $1 billion. We were like, this is Marvel banking on this movie, right? They knew it was going to do well. When I went into it, I was like ready to be entertained, and see what they do. It was very light on plot. And that was the one thing that I could say about this movie that was just kind of like, what is the plot? And you can kind of brush it to the side because it's fun and it's funny and there's surprises, cameos, and there's just shocking things that happen, and it's a good time start to finish. And you get Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, which is huge, and he was great too. He was great.
I went into this movie blind. I tried not to read any trailers or any kind of articles about who's going to be in the. I tried to avoid any spoilers. Mm-hmm. And the one that got me was Jennifer Gardner. I did see that before the movie, so I knew she was going to be in it. That being said, there were quite a few cameos. I don't know if you want to do those first or you want my overall general impression of the movie. But I'm going to give you the cameos first.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, if you have not seen Deadpool Wolverine, turn this broadcast off now because we will be discussing them. So the biggest one that kind of got me off guard was not Channing Tatum, was not Wesley Snipes. It was Chris Evans.
Yes.
Totally did not see it coming. And yes. I got fooled. I was one of the dopes who said, Captain America. Yeah. Because I was so excited to see him. I loved Captain America. It was Johnny Storm. And I was like, you got me. But it was entertaining. Yeah. It was funny. The end credit scene especially was amazing.
Yes.
How we did that all in one take, I will never know, but he did it.
Yes.
He did it with a straight face. I would have been cracking up. And I would have spoiled it and said, second cut. So, it was very well done. not only that, I really appreciated some of the jokes in the movie. And Deadpool was not wrong. Ryan Reynolds, who wrote the movie, is not wrong. Two different things he said that stuck with me and still stayed out to this day, a month and a half later from when I've seen the movie. Number one is that Fox Pictures was 20th Century Fox, who did the original Deadpool movies. He basically dropped the elbow on these people and was like, fuck you guys. I don't care if I come back or I work with you guys ever again. I'm free. And the second was that the multiverse has not worked for Marvel at all. And you all need to quit this shit. Because you guys haven't had anything exciting happen with this.
Right.
And he wasn't wrong when he said it. And I said, he's got the only person who I thought that they could have used in this movie was Kang. If they had brought, what was it, Jonathan Majors out?
Yeah.
They'd bring him in from the bar after he beat his wife in some other realm and been like, yeah, we got these other movies we could have done, and now I got nothing. Now I'm looking for Creed 5. I'm, something like that.
Oh man. Yeah, man. It breathes life back into Marvel, right? It's really a shot in the arm that they desperately needed. Crossed $1 billion already. And Ryan Reynolds is just very in tune with this character and what they want this character to be, what he wants this character to be. He plays the role well. It's funny. It's edgy. It's, you break the fourth wall, talking to the audience, and even bringing in the realistic side of it, right? When he's joking with Hugh Jackman in the movie, it's like, telling him, you're going to make you play this role for 90 years, in reference to Disney. I mean, it's funny.
Wrong,
it's
not
funny.
wrong.
No. I mean, look at what we just talked about with Robert Downey Jr., coming back again. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
And Hugh Jackman looked shredded.
Yeah.
Whatever he's taking at age 50, whatever he is, because we're going to be talking a little bit later on in our next show about another famous actor and the aging process. I'm not going to give you that name, but he looks terrible. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, oh my God, this guy was one of my heroes growing up.
Oh no.
And I look at this guy today and I'm like,
yeah,
he got run over by the semi. It's like, let me give you the name.
Yeah, give me the name. Give me the tease.
Am I going to bark all day, little doggy?
Oh man, Madsen.
Or am I going to shove my wife out the door?
Joe Gage.
No, Joe Gage, yeah. He looks terrible. He just looks terrible.
It was the ugliest, and that means you, Joe Gage.
Yeah.
Don't drink the coffee. So we were talking about cameos, and you had mentioned Chris Evans. Other ones that popped up in here were Wesley Snipes, as played, as everybody saw in the preview when we played it. It's pretty much the good guys that cameos. Channing Tatum as Gambit, and you have Jennifer Garner as Elektra, and her name escapes me. X-23 from Logan. I forget her name. That's bad.
That's not really important.
I know.
We know who she is.
Her name was oh man, X-23. She was just in Acolyte too when we were talking about it.
I'm sorry to hear that too. Was she in Crimson
Oh
Harvest?
right, yeah, Daphne Keane. Keene. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and the TVA from Loki, where it was very serious and very important. In this movie, it's goofy and it's very light on the serious side. He's such a goofy villain, the guy from the TVA. And I like that because I actually watched Loki season 1 and I could not figure out what was going on. It was just such a slog to get through that show. So to see it here where it's just, right off the bat, the whole entire squad of them is getting just destroyed by Deadpool. And then you meet the guy that's kind of in charge of this little unit, and he's just a goofy bad guy. So I like that they kind of, took away a lot of the seriousness of it and just made it just, okay, look, he's just an idiot bad guy. I thought that was good. And then you have Cassandra Nova, who is the main bad, I guess, villain, Charles Xavier's sister. I thought she was pretty good. I've never seen her in anything.
I've
but I
never
thought she was
thought
pretty
a
good.
bald woman was so attractive before. I'm not kidding.
Emma Corrin is her name. I thought she was good. I enjoyed her in this role.
Did I tell you I played her stunt double in this movie?
Hold up. I know you're waiting for it. There it is. Let's talk about Crimson Harvest. Let's talk about it.
Crimson Harvest, the Indiegogo campaign is live. We've already surpassed the original $25,000 goal. If you ever wanted to be in a movie, this is your opportunity. Crimson Harvest, reap what you sow. Star in a movie with Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp. The new extended campaign amount that they're looking for is now $35,000, up from the original $25,000. That's Crimson with a Z, Harvest at Indiegogo.com. Check it out. Hayden, can you tell me where, if you wanted to find a cheap place to advertise for your business that's on permanently on YouTube, where would you go?
Man, I would come right here to Real Geek Media.
I would rather go Joe Rogan. What's wrong with you?
I don't know if we can afford Joe Rogan prices.
And that's what it is. Look, this is the bottom of the barrel right here. If you can't think of it as like the bottom of the barrel, this is, look, that sludge you get at the bottom of the barrel, that's not us. We're like the bacteria underneath the sludge. But the problem is that you're not thinking long term. We are a growing industry here at realgeekmedia.com. We're talking interviews. We're talking news. We're talking box office projections. We're talking inside depth and knowledge, entertainment, jokes, humor, freckle on your schmuckle type humor. This is not the kind of stuff you want to miss out on. Hayden, what's it cost for an advertisement with realgeekmedia.com?
We 30? 35?
Look, I'm willing to cut that. Look, we're doing Crazy Eddie type prices so we don't end up with Crazy Eddie type jail time. $15. Let's do $15, Hayden.
We're slashing prices.
That's right. Where do you go to find, if you want to advertise or if you want a sponsorship with realgeekmedia.com, where would you go, Hayden?
Where would I go to look for it? I would go right to our website, realgeekmedia.com.
That's not joerogan.com. No, but look, Real Geek, www.realgeekmedia, RealGeekmedia. Hopefully I spelled that right, .com media. Let's make it happen today.
Just look at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, well, look, I'm not that smart. Look, this is a new studio here. Like, this is like the 70s. Studio. I'm like ready to start, I just need Rod Stewart in the background saying, do you think I'm sexy? Which, by the way, I am, Hayden, because I was the stunt double for Miss Corning and Daredevil, or for Deadpool, Wolverine.
Yeah. Don't stick your fingers in my face.
Look, you know what they say about people who...
Did they really do that?
No, you know what they say about people who move their hands a lot? They're good in the bedroom.
All right, there you go.
And if you believe that, I got something else to sell you too, but that's another story. But first, I got to sell you Cape May Murders. So 5 days before Halloween, retiring Chief of Police Browning, Cape May, New Jersey, he's got two different mysteries to solve. The first is the reappearance of an amnesic woman who's disappeared for the last 25 years. She's returned. She shouldn't be alive. And the second is the Grim Reaper killer killing off Cape May stakeholders. Can Chief Browning solve both mysteries before becoming the next victim of the Cape May Grim Reaper killer? You got to read the book to find out, Hayden. That's at www.christophermichaelblake.com.
Check it out. Check it out.
Now, Hayden, I got to ask, going back to Deadpool Wolverine, were there any parts of this movie you were not happy with? You mentioned the TVA. because I have one part in this particular movie that really disappointed me. It was almost like they mailed it in.
There's one shot in this movie that really was just like bothered me. Just one shot, right? The TVA I'm not a fan of. I did not mind them in this movie at all. I thought they were good fodder for Deadpool killing, and I thought as villains they were fine. The one shot that bothered me was after they're fighting the Deadpool corpse on the bus. They're both on the bus. They jump out the window, and it is full on horrible CGI. It's just cringeworthy CGI, and it bothered me. Like just watch it, I was like, I don't know. You couldn't have done something else with that iconic, Wolverine's like got the claws out, breaking through the glass, and it's like watching a cutscene in a video game. It looked bad. That was the only thing that really bothered me in this movie, and that's just minutia.
My opinion was that whole Deadpool core.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, I did not like it.
They got to fit the Madonna song in somewhere.
I even thought that was like a little overblown, overhyped. I was not happy with that either. I would have been happier if that Deadpool skull had bitten like a random bystander and we started the zombie outbreak, and then we would have had the next Deadpool movie lined up.
Oh, there you go.
That could have been your cutscene, in my opinion.
There you go.
Because let's face it, one of the most popular Marvel comic books is Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and it's also the zombie apocalypse Marvel line, right?
Right.
Everybody's a zombie, and Deadpool's going around killing everybody, and all the major superheroes are now zombies.
Right.
And it fits perfectly the trope right now for everything that's out. I mean,
true.
So for me, that would have been a nice pivot away from the multiverse at that point.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, I was just going to say this because we had just mentioned, like, I had said the Madonna song, like a prayer. Who would have thought, like, if you go to check like Billboard Top 40, you're going to have NSYNC, Bye Bye Bye, and Madonna Like a Prayer back in 2024. and probably Iris from Goo Goo Dolls, too.
All we needed was Burning Crosses again. I can't imagine why that was more popular back in the 80s.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was. I like the song choices. I enjoyed that scene where they killed the Deadpool core, and I liked how Peter shows up in the suit at the end of it, and they're all like, "Peter, it's Peter, he's here." Every Deadpool has a Peter. I listen. You do not need to know anything. I mean, I don't even know if you needed to see Deadpool 1 and 2 to watch this movie. You really didn't.
No, you don't.
I think that the cost of entry is very low, and I think that's partially why this movie's done so well, because in the past you see all these Marvel movies, you have to watch 60 other movies and 4 TV series to know what's going on. This was like almost standalone. Everybody kind of knows Wolverine, everybody kind of knows Deadpool at this point, and they recap some of it early on. Like he has this whole little monologue at the beginning of the movie, how we got here. I thought that was smart.
I even enjoyed the opening scene with Happy at the Avengers Tower.
Yeah.
I liked that. I thought that was funny.
That was good. It was funny.
I liked the character arc for Deadpool in this movie. The fact that he had to, hey, look, I'm breaking up with you, but he still wants to be with her. And, I kind of dug how they were like, you need to be a team and you're not a team player. And he has to go through that with Wolverine to get to the end and be successful. Even to how they combine hands at the end and do the reactor to beat the female Charles Xavier sister, Baldy badass. That was good. I enjoyed that.
It was good.
Because it tied everything up nice and neat. When you're talking about character arc, that's exactly from a point of view of a writer what a character arc should be.
Yeah. And
it doesn't get any easier than that. Hey, you need to be a team. But he's having a problem being a team. Happy points that out to him in the beginning. It's the first scene. This is the problem. You're not a team player.
Yeah.
And I've been called that at work before. And I just sit there and say, I'm sorry to hear it.
And then you just go and kill the Deadpool core while listening to Madonna.
No, I don't do anything at that point. I sit there and stare at the wall.
I agree. I mean, it's a great setup. It's an easy, like, just layup for the resolution at the end. It's
I
great.
mean, I gave you Save the Cat, the book, right? I mean,
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how far you got with it.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what the progression should be when it's the opening act. It's you have a hero with a problem.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, and it's the setup. And it was very well done. It was funny. It was comical. It was very well written. I can't take anything away from Ryan Reynolds and his writing with this whole thing.
Right.
Other than the fact that he cut Rob McElhenney out of it.
McElhenney, yeah.
I like him. I like.
I do
Sonny
too.
Philadelphia.
Sonny is a great show.
I want to watch that Reckham show. I never have time. I just.
Yeah, I've not seen it. It looks like a fun show though. The scene where, and even this is kind of part of, where it gets to like Deadpool's emotions. The scene in the Honda Odyssey where Wolverine is just laying it out for him, and I think that is such a great scene that Hugh Jackman, the delivery and just how he goes full on serious, and then it turns into like a comical fight. But that scene had a lot of weight, and credit to Hugh Jackman for really being that serious part in this movie, because he had to address that he's the worst Wolverine, the worst variant Wolverine. He let everybody down. He let them all get killed. And even when he's talking with X-23 at the little campfire when they meet later on, and he's like, you got the wrong guy, and he's all down on himself. And she's like, you were always the wrong guy, right? That's who you're meant to be. We just need you. You're part of this. And I mean, it's great. It's good stuff. And like, you can't find anybody really. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there, but by and large, Hugh Jackman is beloved as this character, right? It was great to see him with the suit too for the first time. I mean, I thought that was tremendous. It looked great. And you get the brown and yellow version in that one little scene where he's looking for the Wolverine variant early in the movie, where they had that montage of him popping up, finding all these Wolverine variants. And you get the brown and the gold suit where he's fighting Hulk. It was great.
You also get the 3-foot Wolverine.
Yes. The comic accurate.
Then you get the, and I have to ask now, is there any room for the Henry Cavill Wolverine?
I like
that. Or is he too busy now? Because let's face it, what is he now doing? James Bond?
No, he wasn't cast as Bond.
Who was cast as Bond then?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Is that right? Because I could have sworn I saw the trailer with Henry Cavill in it.
No,
and Margot Robbie.
That would have been great casting for a Bond movie right there.
I'm serious. I thought I saw the trailer for that.
No, it was Aaron Taylor Johnson got cast as Bond, not Cavill, which is crazy.
And then he's also doing Highlander. Right? That should be out hopefully in the next year. I mean, I'm hoping.
I'm excited for that, man. We got to go see that one.
I love the Adrian Paul Highlander. So I mean, I know people will blast me for that, but the TV show is phenomenal. The movie's not so much, but the TV show is the karate that he was doing and the sword play that he was doing is far. I mean, he was literally. It wasn't like I'm gonna beat up 5 people and take one at a time. It was just amazing. The stuff he was doing in that TV show. That's there.
Yep.
I have to ask. Do you see in the future, in the next 2 years? Because we played the clip at the beginning of the show. There's memes all over the place for this guy now. He's got his new movie coming out this week.
Mm-hmm.
Blink Twice.
Looks interesting.
I'm going to go see that. I have to go see that. Is there a chance we see a Gambit movie full length after seeing this whole thing?
I think what you're going to see, I think you're going to see a Gambit movie. I think you're going to see Wesley Snipes back as Blade. I think this movie has done enough, and there's enough goodwill with people wanted to see Channing Tatum's and Gambit. Gambit is a very popular character, right? So, I mean, the closest thing that I think we had to Channing Tatum as Gambit was Hateful Eight, where he does the little Louisiana accent in his like 10 minutes in that movie. And he's doing the same thing here, but it's funny. And the action, the guy's a trained dancer, right? So he can do these flips and these action moves. He looked great. And I think it got people excited to see Channing Tatum Gambit. I mean, I listen, I'd go see that if they came out with it.
I will say this: the trick he did with the cards looked a lot better than the movie version. However many years ago that was, where it was the original Wolverine movie with Gambit.
Oh,
it was so much better done.
Oh man,
because it was. I mean, I looked at that movie and it was just so terrible.
That was
the original Wolverine movie, and I was just like, "This is just not."
That was bad.
That's not Gambit that I know.
And no.
You see,
he's got the trench coat, he's got the purple, he's got the cards and the staff, he's got the headpiece, hair popping out, exactly like the comic book, and he did really well with it. And I said that part with Wesley Snipes, that whole Mahershala Ali Blade movie has been in development hell for years now. New writers left and right. There's been nothing on that movie. Marvel's saying, yeah, we're still going to do it. Mahershala Ali is our guy. But I'm telling you, if they're going to do one, Wesley Snipes is going to be back for it. He will. He will. He still crushes as Blade, and Wesley Snipes is probably pushing 70 at this point.
He's done. He looked good doing it.
He looked good, and he still got the moves. I don't think people would be as excited for Jennifer Garner, but it was great to see her in this movie, right? She was
very good. Ben Affleck, I mean, come on.
Yep, that was even in there too. And originally, I think they were trying to get Ben Affleck's Daredevil in this movie. That was one of the plot points I think that had to get changed because they couldn't.
He did do Daredevil, didn't he?
Yeah. He was the original Daredevil. He just
redid it. I mean, by marrying Jennifer Lopez, it was like a dare. He married the devil, right? It was like Daredevil.
Twice divorced.
Devil. I mean, you know what the wedding ring for that. I just found this out, by the way, that Ben Affleck gave to her. What it said on there, the inscription was.
Oh God, what was it?
Never gonna let you go. I think that's what it was.
Oof. Yeah. That's a tough one there. That's a tough one there. But I really think this movie's going to spawn some other. You're going to start seeing Gambit. People are going to be like pushing for Wesley Snipes. I mean, listen, what's more iconic than the opening to the original Blade movie, right? That movie was great. The opening scene for that movie was tremendous. And this is I think the fall of 98, right? You got that movie. And then in the summer, you just started to see like The Matrix and all these other things. But that opening scene came before all that stuff, where he's fighting all the vampires at the vampire rave and the blood raining down on all of them. And he's just killing everybody. It was great. He's awesome in that role. And it's funny because Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3 as Hannibal King. And, I like that Ryan Reynolds can get these other actors he's worked with in the past back into this. And credit to him for getting Gambit and Channing Tatum and to getting Wesley Snipes back as Blade and Jennifer Garner back as Elektra. I think that's great. I think it's great. I mean, there was a big audience for those Fox movies, those Fox X-Men movies of, the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. Those were our Avengers movies back then, right? Those were our big, everybody's, the X-Men movie. I didn't care for 1 as much. I thought 2 was great. And those movies are great. I can look back on them and watch them. Man, this was a lot of fun. This was our Avengers back then, right? And I've always been an X-Men fan. That was always my go-to comic book as a kid, right? It was never the Avengers. It was always the X-Men for me. And, to have them, even like you said at the end where they did the little, I guess they did the tribute little piece. I thought that was good because a lot of the audience for this movie remembers all those characters and those films. And, we talked about Johnny Storm, that group of the Fantastic Four was very good. right? That pairing, that quartet, right? They were good. They were probably of the movies that we've gotten a Fantastic Four, even the cast of this one, which I'm not too keen on. I thought that one was great. So even seeing, like you said, Johnny Storm pop up, you think he's Captain America, and he's dressed to like he's got like the cargo pants, the boots, just like Captain America, the belt, the utility belt, and then he does his little flame on thing, and you're like, what? And it doesn't take itself serious. This is comic book movies. This is people just want to be entertained, and that's what this movie did.
My favorite part of this movie, again, this isn't a movie I'd probably go back and watch a second time. I'll make sure that that's clear. I wasn't so in love with it, I'd say, oh, I have to watch that again. But it was fun because of how abominable and how atrocious the other Marvel movies have been to date. And they did a good job with the humor. My favorite part of this movie is when Johnny Storm gets his skin ripped off of him.
Oh, it's great. It's a great scene.
And then for the rest of the movie, Wolverine's blaming Ryan Reynolds. You got that guy killed. He did it himself. And then he goes back and sneaks back into the TVA and he plays the video and goes, I told you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I liked it.
And that whole scene, Johnny Storm's going, he's like, stop. I never said any of this. I never said it. I would never. And he said every single word of it. Every single word of it.
He did. He certainly did.
It was good, man. It was just right. And that's a great way to have as your little post-credit scene. I thought it was really funny. Great way to end it and walk out of the theater satisfied. And, like you had just mentioned, it's a great palate cleanser for all the horrible things we've seen with these Marvel movies. It actually kind of gets you a little bit hyped for what may come. And I think Marvel knew that too, right? I think that's part of the reason why this movie was made.
I don't know that they did.
Listen, when the stock prices...
I think that once they saw the audience reaction and they saw the Brinks truck load up inside Disney World, they were like, hey, Ryan, have you started work on that next script yet for Deadpool Wolverine 2?
It's going to come.
Oh, look, and if it hasn't happened yet, I hope Ryan's in negotiations to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, why not? Might as well get paid for something you're good at.
So Marvel's going to introduce the X-Men. Now, let me get your take on any of this. Right? We see at the end of the Marvels. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
No, I refuse.
So the post-credit scene for the Marvels has Kelsey Grammer Beast, but it's CGI. It's his voice, right?
He was Beast before, though. I mean, wasn't he at one
point?
Right,
he was, but he was in makeup, right? This is CGI. It's his voice, right? Beast. Would you, as bankable as this movie is, as huge as and great as Hugh Jackman is in the role of Wolverine, do you just let him continue? I know he's in his 50s. I would let him continue as much as he wants.
I don't think that you change out what's working right now.
You can't.
As much as I think Henry Cavill could work.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep it going with the. Why mess up the formula at this point?
It's printed money.
Yes.
So
look, any kind of. Can you imagine the backlash? Oh, by the way, Ryan Reynolds is being replaced by.
Oh man, you can't.
Or Hugh Jackman is being replaced by. The outpouring of people hating on Disney, which is already they're doing a wonderful job with on their own. With just
they don't need help.
It would be insane. You give these people whatever they want.
That's the smart play right there.
You want us to make Blake Lively disappear?
Oh man, yeah. I'm curious to see what they do because I can almost guarantee that they are going to course correct with their X-Men stuff based on some of the response to this film.
Look,
we may get a Gambit movie.
I think we will get a Gambit movie out of this. And I think that it would be stupid at least not to at least put together a trailer like Ryan Reynolds did for Deadpool before Deadpool was released in order to get the movie made.
Right.
And then it was accidentally leaked somehow.
Yes.
And I think that if they were to do a 2 or 3 minute trailer and put that online and just gauge where things are at.
Yeah.
I think if they got 100 million thumbs up, that would greenlight the movie.
Listen,
hands
people are
down.
going to see it. People are going to want to see it. I mean, how much screen time did he have in this movie?
15 minutes.
And he was great.
Yeah, look, great's another story. I couldn't understand a word he was saying.
I think that's part of the charm of it.
Look,
you have to, obviously he's got to be paired up with somebody who can kind of give him shit about, like, what are you saying?
If you told me that the charm of this show would be me not being able to understand what I'm saying, I would start drinking a fifth of Johnny Walker Red now, and by the end of this,
listen, we'll experiment and see how many likes we get.
You know what I'm saying? We can do that. We can do that.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, this a lot of fun. I mean, you got any parting thoughts on this one?
I did like it. Not enough to sit there and say I wouldn't watch this again, but it was better than the last 2 Deadpool movies.
I agree.
I don't know if it's because Hugh Jackman came back, or I don't know if it was because of all the cameo appearances, or all the digs at Fox, or the fact that they actually came out and he said the multiverse is not working. You need to get off this. But then, you know, I see the announcements coming out for some of the second series of some of these shows coming up, and I'm like, oh, they just took the steam out of this.
Yeah, Moon Knight.
I mean, what, they got Moon Knight 2 coming out? I saw that was greenlit, right? I'm a huge Moon Knight fan.
They did not do that
and
character
Isaac
justice,
dude. And I think Isaac,
Oscar Isaac, yeah.
Thank you, Oscar Isaac. He did a great job.
He was fine. Not his fault.
No, them cutting out the violence.
Yes,
was the problem.
Yes,
that's the
massive problem. Is Moon Knight in your Moon Knight series?
You said that perfectly on X, by the way. I wasn't going to steal that from you. I steal everything else. I don't steal that. But yeah, so you know, do we really want She-Hulk 2? I mean, I had no desire to see that.
They did too much damage with the first season.
So again, you know, I'm anxious to see the next Marvel movie, Captain America, Brave New World. Is that it?
That's February, right? I think that's
February, March, something like that. Yeah. Again, I'm in. I actually am one of the few people who likes the way they're going with the Captain America arc now that Chris Evans has left. I know a lot of people are not, but it's true to the comic book in terms of what happens and the progression that happens. So again, I'm in for it. I'm willing to give it a shot. I like the TV show. So we're there.
Oh man, that one disappointed me. Wyatt Russell was the best part of it, though.
He was.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and tell you he wasn't.
Not enough. He wasn't in it enough either. But
well, then you go and you start getting all the blood back out and all the stuff that, you know, it's reimagining. We're going to take the gun that was in your hand and give you a pencil. You know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
He was going to draw a mustache on my face.
What's next? Yeah, they I agree. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great palate cleanser to kind of get you a little hyped about some things happening in the Marvel way. We'll see if they continue it. We'll see. I mean, I think they got a lot riding on Captain America, and I'm not as optimistic as you may be on that film. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be good. If it's good, I'm going to say it's good. I have very low expectations, though.
Hayden, we're going to break off in the box office right now, and once again, you laid the smack down on me. You went,
uh-oh,
and then you smacked me upside the head, and I got like your handprints like right here.
Oh man,
like permanently like embedded on my head.
Oh man!
So you went 3 for 4. Congratulations, you made the Hall of Fame this week.
750.
Yeah, 750. So the first movie we reviewed was It Ends With Us, the Blake Lively movie.
Yes.
Of course, she's having all these problems with her co-star now, and I'm
sure a lot of that came out, didn't it?
Look,
movie did great though in the box office.
Made $100 million.
Yeah.
50. You know, opening weekend though, it made $50 million. I had guessed 32, and you had guessed 28. So I actually won that one. That was the one I took home. And after
Big
that,
opening weekend for that.
you flushed me down the toilet. And when I saw the number for this, I wasn't shocked, and I thought I had guessed a lot lower than I did. And boy, was I wrong. Borderlands, $115 million budget. It had banked $8.8 million.
Rough.
You had guessed 15, and you were the winner. I guessed 17. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I might have been drinking that Johnny Walker Red. Yeah,
that's a massive bomb right there.
Oh, look, they're not recouping that. I mean, they can put that thing on streaming and
forget it.
I don't know if they're going for like a Jumanji type atmosphere look with that thing. I mean, Eli Roth. I mean, I don't know.
I said Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what it reminded me of. Obviously, nobody cared about this movie enough to go see it.
I don't blame them for that. I think that they stopped advertising for this thing 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they did that. Like they felt like maybe the audience test groups weren't in their favor. And you're like, just stop spending advertising money now. Cut your losses now. I feel that way. I really I think
agree.
That they did that.
They knew something, and they were just like, you know what, we'll just spit this thing out.
The third movie was Cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a movie I want to see because Dan Stevens is in it. $7 million budget. I had guessed $9 million because of the success of Long Legs the 2 weeks before that, which is still going strong, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And
you had guessed $4 million. Man, you were almost there. It was $3 million made. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have been any closer than that. I mean, you basically took home the belt with that one.
Wow.
But it's not playing in any of the theaters near me. I'm
Isn't that something?
This thing, and I'm like,
what's the closest? Like Pennsylvania?
I didn't even look, but I know that looking at the AMC and looking at the Toms River marquee, it was not playing at either one of those. I didn't check the Regal, but
yeah, that's interesting.
That was a movie I would watch on streaming for sure.
Yeah,
just because I'm a Dan Stevens fan. The movie does look interesting. Have not heard a lot about it in terms of online reviews or Facebook reviews. And the last movie was the big one, Alien Romulus. I'm going to give you a spoiler here, unfortunately, though, before we go see it next week. I have heard there are no Romulans in this movie.
Oh,
so the title on it, it's very misleading. I'm very upset with this.
It's a Star Trek crossover. I think you're onto something there.
I was getting ready to do my Riker maneuver into my seat with the popcorn bucket. And when I found out there are no Romulans in this thing, I was like,
it's a wrap.
Yeah, I was like, engage, Warp 9, get me out of here. I had guessed $22 million because it was an R-rated type movie, science fiction, based on how Prometheus and how everything else had done, that whole prequel genre.
Mm-hmm.
You had guessed 50. It came in at 41.5. Even though you were over, it wasn't even a contest. I was so far behind. I think I still might be down on the race course, still trying to try to lap up.
That movie's made. I know it's surpassed 100 at this point.
Has it?
I think so. Let me see real fast. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely was higher than I even expected. It was to date 121.8.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So
is that worldwide or just
that's worldwide?
Yeah, okay, all right. That makes sense.
And that's pretty big. I mean, 80 million budget.
Yeah,
you know, they'll make all their money back, and
we'll see a sequel.
And you have
going up into space.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know this was set in between Alien and Aliens, right? So I don't know there's already been a sequel to it, so I don't know what you do with it, but we'll see it. We're gonna take a look at that movie together, and you know, we'll see what happens. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
So Hayden, I got 5 movies this week that we got to talk about. 3 of them are relative unknowns, and 2 of them are bigger box office. So I would say that the first two are more wider release, and the last three are probably more limited. But again, well known. The first would be the Zoe Kravitz Pussy Island.
Right.
We talked about that 2 weeks ago, so I don't think I'm making anything up. That was the original title.
That was the original title. Yeah.
And this is a movie that I'm actually interested in seeing. I think that a lot of females, a lot of mystery people would be interested in seeing. It definitely has that genre type. Oh, what's going on here? There's memory loss and some other things kind of going on.
It looks like Clue meets Glass Onion meets Bodies kind of feel to it. It's interesting. I like that kind of setup. So
I will probably try to do a double feature when it comes time for me to go see this. Do you want to start us off with a projection on this, or do you want me to?
I'll start with that one.
Okay, so I gotta go next. Go ahead.
I'll go 15.
I think that's a solid number. I think there's a lot of women who are gonna go see this. We saw the Blake Lively rebound. I think that's exactly what happened.
Yep. All
the men drug the females to go see Deadpool Wolverine, and the females turned around and said, "Let's go see It Ends With Us." Yep. That's just my opinion. I said that's that fair, I thought that would happen. I think you're going to see that a little bit with Blink Twice. Mm-hmm. All the females love Channing Tatum, and the guys can get behind this. It's more of a murder mystery. I'm going to say 21.
Okay.
I'll say 21. And again, I think it's going to be a success. I think it looks interesting enough for me to want to go see before I give my opinion on it.
Yeah.
The next movie is one I have no interest in seeing, and I don't know why they're doing it.
Uh-oh.
And I like the actor in the movie, so it's a little bit of a shame. And that is the Crow remake.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Crow.
I am watching some of these trailers for this, and it's just these people are unloading Uzis into him, and it's just outrageous. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, why? Why couldn't they not come up with?
Did we need this movie? Like,
you could have named this anything other than the Crow,
right?
I mean, you could have
absolutely,
but I think that they knew that would kind of get more people in the seats.
Yeah,
that's my guess with this.
Yeah, Crow series, which has already had like 4 or 5 sequels that are all like direct to video. Did not need to
be done either.
None of them did.
And they really could have added this one to that whole list, I think.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it. I will take the opening number for this one if you don't mind here, Hayden.
Go for it.
Oh, are there enough female romantics out there, enough horror romantics, enough people reminiscing about The Crow, the original, to say
it's such a different
I want to go see this the last week of summer, right before Labor Day. Is Labor Day weekend going to help this thing out? Weekend before. I got to say no, only because it's opening up against Blink Twice. And if you have an R-rated movie you want to go see, you're probably going to offer Blink Twice. Yeah. I don't want to put it at the number that Borderlands was at 8.8, but I'd say 11 million.
I think that's fair. I hope
I gave you a hard one there.
Yeah, that the issue with this movie, right? Crow was a hit in I want to say 94 when it came out. It was a hit. I mean, it made a lot of money off of its budget. Are people curious because it's been such a long time since there's been a theatrical release? Are people curious to kind of see this version of it? What I think hurts it is the look of Skarsgård's Crow. Looks like a SoundCloud rapper, and it looks ridiculous. He looks like Jared Leto's Joker. It doesn't look like the Crow. So I think that's all the people that may have been interested. Okay, there's a new Crow coming out, and then you see the trailer and you're like, "What the heck is this? Is that the Joker? Like, what is this? It doesn't look like the Crow to me." Are there still going to be people curious after that? I think so, but I don't think it's going to be a lot. I'm gonna say 15, and it's only because of name recognition, like you said. There's going to be people curious. It could Borderlands it and do 8. I would not be surprised. this is definitely going to be on the low end. I think my estimate might be high, but I think some people are going to be curious about it.
The next movie I have here, Hayden, is one you have not heard of. I would be surprised if you sit there and say, "Oh, I wanted to see this," but it's a true story. I believe it's more of an inspirational type movie because of the actors who were in it. And I think both of them are fantastic actors. I love both these guys. And the movie is around a subject I believe that you personally can get involved in and probably want to take your son to go see. And the movie is called You Gotta Believe.
I saw a commercial for this one.
I had not, but the actors are Luke Wilson and Greg
Yes.
Kinnear. Greg Kinnear is an Academy Award-winning actor. You wouldn't know he started on Talk Soup. I mean,
Yeah.
Luke Wilson, I love his movies for whatever reason. They resonate with me. He's like the everyday guy.
Yep.
He's not trying to do too much and trying to be crazy. I like the fact that it's a true story based on a little league team, based on them rallying around somebody's father who's sick, and that they make it to the World Series in little league baseball, which is incredibly difficult. And those kids who make it there are famous. We're still talking about the Toms River Little League team from 30 years ago here in this area in New Jersey. So, and we're still following those kids for the rest of their lives. Do I think this is going to do well in the box office? No, I do not. But this is a movie that if my daughter was into baseball, I would have her in the theater on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see this. I know you can't go see Blink Twice with me. I know you can't do any of the other movies. So this is what we're going to see because it's a nice family movie. It reminds me of Arthur the King, the Mark Wahlberg movie. I don't know if you saw it or not yet.
Yeah,
Have
I
you
know
seen
what
it?
you're talking. No, I haven't seen it, but I agree with you with the feel. Yeah.
If you have not seen it, it's amazing. I was talking to somebody this week at work. He's running marathons. He's doing 20. I say marathons. He's doing 26 miles. He's training with veterans groups down in Florida, gearing up to do like a 90-click race down there with a bike and running and everything else. I asked him, I said, did you see the movie Arthur the King? And he was like, no, I haven't seen it. I said, check this movie out. It's exactly up your alley. And based of all, it's a true story. You can't beat it. And these are the kind of movies that do well because they have a low budget. It doesn't cost much to put a bunch of kids in a movie or a bunch of people with a low budget into a movie with a couple big stars and not have to pay a lot for special effects. If you're looking for me for an opening number, I'll give you 1.5.
1.5. Got it.
Again, I think limited release. I don't see this thing having a wide release.
I have my own headcanon about this movie. That it's going to be Greg Kinnear's character from the Bad News, Richard Linklater's Bad News Bears, and this is him later in life, where it's a little more serious because what the events of that movie were, put him in this headspace. I think the timing of this movie is right because Little League World Series is currently going on right now. You have a holiday weekend. That's in two. When does this release? Is it this weekend?
Friday, the 26th.
26. Okay. So I think it's got a good timing for its release. You said it was not a wide release.
I don't believe it is. I mean, I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe it is. And I'll tell you the next two movies and you'll be like, what? And what?
I'm going to go higher.
Okay.
I'm going to go 5.
Wow. Okay. They made their budget back, maybe. Okay.
Just because it's baseball, it's summertime, it's Little League World Series, it's in the news, it's on ESPN every night. So I think, like, if they release this movie in the wintertime, I don't think anybody would watch this, but I think because it's current events, this release is really where you want to put this movie. So I think it'll do okay. It's not going to knock anybody's socks off, but I do think it will come back. And I like those actors, man. I like Luke Wilson and Greg Kinnear. When I saw Horizon, that Kevin Costner movie, Luke Wilson's in there. And it's serious. He's doing serious. He could do either serious or comedy. But yeah, Which
I think it's going to depend on how many theaters it gets released to. Ultimately.
Yeah, you're
It's a
gonna have
numbers
all
game
these,
with that.
all these places still have like Deadpool and Wolverine on like 2 screens. So
Despicable Me 4.
right, yeah. So you're right.
You know, Inside Out 2 still playing in a lot of these theaters too.
Yeah.
The next movie is a movie I don't think anybody asked for. With an actor who I think should have been in Lost Horizon and should have begged for his second opportunity with Kevin Costner, because the first one didn't work out so well. And that is Dennis Quaid's Reagan. And I know I've seen pictures for this in billboards outside of AMC and everything. And I say, why? Why would anybody put a poster up for a movie that's going to be out for 1 week?
Yeah.
Give me your number, Hayden.
Here's the thing with this one. I've seen
the barrel any lower than this.
I've seen more trailers for You Gotta Believe than I have for Reagan. If that tells you anything. I don't know. If you on the slate of all these things coming out where politics is pushed down my throat in every avenue of television media, commercials, election year, do I want to spend my money to escape from some of this stuff to watch another political movie? I don't. So this one, I'm going to go with 2. And I just,
Hayden, I don't think you're off with this. And if I'm the price is right, I'm saying 2.1. F you, Hayden.
I like, is it maybe this is the movie you hold on to and don't release until maybe next year? You know,
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
the only people who are going to see this, I think, are Republicans who are in their 70s,
right?
Or Fox News commentators.
It's such a small audience for something like this.
But I think it's gonna have a wide release. That I do believe. I think it will have a wider release than You Gotta Believe.
Yeah. I mean, this is for me. It's like I want to escape, right? And this is not like the thing that I want to choose to escape from some of these things from. You know, this is not it for me.
Now, the last movie is called Slingshot.
Slingshot.
Yeah, and I want you to can we try to pull that trailer up here, Hayden?
Let me go.
I want to, because it looks interesting from my perspective. This is a movie that's right up my alley. I see science fiction. I see a little bit of Pandorum in here. It's got some actors I really love in this. But this also gives us an opportunity to prepare everybody for maybe next week's Real Geek Media trailer reviews, where we start reviewing trailers for movies and TV shows. Slingshot.
Oh,
that's what it was like named you in college, wasn't it? I think they stole that title from you.
Let's see. Let me get.
When you were quarterback in our freshman football team from your back.
All right, here we go. Let me pull it up here. All right, we're gonna look at Slingshot trailer.
This is your first time seeing this, right?
Yes.
Hello, John.
Okay.
You are aboard the spacecraft Odyssey 1.
So I don't know if you heard, but I'll be leaving town soon. 1.5 billion miles. No big deal.
We're awake. Good.
Hibernation affecting you?
Morpheus is fighting Neo.
Gentlemen, we have been in space for nearly 2 years.
It's incredible.
We are on our way to
You know shit is gonna hit the fan.
But this is, again, not anything we haven't seen before with these movies.
World we can reach. But to get there, we'll need Jupiter's gravity for a speed boost.
Which we know is actually science-based, right?
Before the slingshot.
Oh, there's a loose screw on the Enterprise.
The impact represents no real danger.
What if the whole system is compromised? If we attempt a slingshot, we get blasted into deep space.
The drugs used to induce hibernation can produce side effects.
You understand me now.
She's not here on the ship.
I know that.
If sometimes, including confusion and disorientation.
You see that I'm mad. Your imagination is playing a cruel trick on you.
How do you know this?
But I'm just
Everything around us is screaming, turn around! And you're about to blast us even further into space.
warning, system overload.
Division!
I'm just a soul.
You're sending us all to die!
Watch out!
Flying into the light is a survival instinct. The best escape route tends to be towards the light.
Oh Lord, please don't let me
Be misunderstood.
Look, I'd go see Lawrence Fishburne sing that song. I would. Where do you get a gun and sneak a gun on? Like, where's like international TSA not informed? Like, there are no weapons allowed on the spacecraft at this point.
So we got a couple things going on with this movie, right? This is, oh man, help me out.
Pandorums plus
What was the George Clooney one that Soderbergh directed or produced?
Solus?
Yes. It's this. It's the mind games. It's not real, but you're feeling.
We've also
the effects
seen
of
this
something.
with what was Event Horizon?
Event Horizon.
This could almost be the sequel to Event Horizon with Lawrence Fishburne reprising
Right,
his role
right.
as the captain.
Yeah.
Who's actually the ghost.
Right. Sam Neill pops up as space.
As the space devil, the space demon, yeah.
He's the ship.
Yes.
There's a loose screw. It's Frenchie. It's interesting. Okay. I like the concept. You're right. It's like a bunch of movies that you've already seen, but we're gonna
Nothing
do
new.
nothing new.
But a little bit different.
Yes.
Because
Right.
we're gonna throw Casey Affleck in there,
Yes.
who has some kind of thing where he murdered his family by accident. That's what he does in every movie. And now has to go to space to make
Now
up
he's an astronaut.
for it. Yes, now has to atone for it.
Yes.
Because let's face it, it's always a good idea to have astronauts on a 2-year mission who are in their 80s and 50s.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because that's what we pick for these things.
I'm interested. It can't be that big of a budget, right? It's sets, right? It's weak special
actors and the actors.
You're paying Lawrence Fishburne.
But I will say this: it sounded to me like the music in the movie actually sounded pretty good. The special effects sounded pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get past the fact that there's no DEI? I don't know. That's how realistic that is nowadays. I'm serious when I say that, right? Because let's face it, that's now important that all these space flights, we can take everything into consideration.
Right.
Give me your number, and I'll give you mine.
I'm
Again,
gonna
probably limited release. I hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Release.
I'll go 3.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I'll go 3.
This movie's not getting a buzz.
I've never seen that's the first time I watched that trailer. Yeah.
And this could go straight to streaming next week, for all we know.
Right.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yep.
But for me, Casey Affleck is one of those underrated actors.
Yes. Good actor.
Lawrence Fishburne, good actor, depending on if he decides to mail it in that day or not.
Right. Is he motivated?
Right. And again, I would pay him just to watch him sing the song. And you got Frenchie, who I like from The Boys.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I don't disagree with your $3 million assessment, depending on, again, it comes down to how many screens is this thing going to be on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are people going to go choose this movie over Blink Twice or The Crow?
Yeah.
I'll go 4.
Okay.
I'll go 4. I hate to say I gave you the $1 again.
No, but listen, I mean, otherwise you kind of have to be truthful with it, right? Like, you don't want to say, "Oh no, it's going to do 8," just to be very further apart. I get it. I don't think it's going to be.
The problem is that science fiction. I mean, again, I know Alien Ramos just had this huge opening weekend, so I'm kind of countering that point. But space fiction, science fiction, generally doesn't do well at the box office for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It generally does not.
Yeah.
So, again, I haven't seen this trailer before. This isn't when you go to the movies and it's actually been playing. It is opening. It was on the AMC website. That's where I found it. So I know AMC's at least going to play it for the opening weekend at some of their theaters. And it looks interesting enough that, hey, I would go spend an hour and 45 minutes watching the mind games.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
That's
hey.
fair.
So that's basically all we have. Final thoughts for tonight?
Okay, go. If you haven't already, which you probably have, go see Deadpool Wolverine. It's fun.
After you just spoiled everything for me, I feel like I just saved myself $17. I go see Alien Romulus. That's the movie we're doing next, right? Alien Romulus. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now, we're going to check out Alien Romulus. Join us in space where no one can hear you scream.
Unless you're running from my wife. Crimson Harvest. The Indiegogo campaign. It's live. I wrote the script. And we'll rewrite the script and rewrite the script. And rewrite the script again. The QR code is on here, which you can't get. But Indiegogo.com/projects/Crimson Harvest with a Z. Check it out.
We have it on our socials. We'll blast it out there again for everybody that is curious or wants to participate, wants to donate. Again, a great project. A lot of good people behind it. And Christopher wrote the script.
For now.
So listen, we're going to break. We'll be back shortly with news and funny stories. So thank you for joining us. We'll catch you in 2 weeks for Alien Romulus. Have a good night.